So we are going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. My name is Elizabeth Aloni, and I'm with Schneps Media. Schneps Media is the largest local media company in New York City metro area. We publish over 70 newspapers, magazines, webinars, websites, podcasts, and events throughout Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Manhattan, Long Island, Westchester, and Philadelphia. And we are thrilled today to bring you a very important webinar, free training that pays you to start a career in custodial maintenance. You know, so many people are unsure about what their future holds, especially during these unprecedented times. So today we have experts with us to discuss a path to starting a career with free training and career placement. How incredible at any time, but especially during these unique times. I'm really thrilled to introduce our incredible panelists who are going to walk you through this opportunity. First, I want to welcome Cheryl Brewington. Hi, Cheryl. She's an employment skills instructor for Train and Earn. Cheryl is a social services professional with over 15 years experience in working in a client-focused environment. She possesses a strong work ethic and unwavering commitment to excellence. Cheryl has extensive managerial experience with exceptional skills in interdisciplinary teamwork, coordination, and staff development. Cheryl has been an instructor with the Train and Earn program since 2019 and has developed a curriculum that accommodates different learning styles and abilities. She's dedicated to the mission of AHRC and has shown unwavering devotion to the Train and Earn program as well. Welcome, Cheryl. Next, I am thrilled to introduce Cynthia Asueta. Cynthia is a program director for Train and Earn and has been with AHRC NYC for 5 years. She's served as the program director of Train and Earn for the past 2 years. Cynthia has shown valued dedication to the Train and Earn program and has developed an invaluable team whom serve the community with diligence and integrity. Cynthia is dedicated to supporting youth, their families, and individuals with disabilities. Cynthia strives every day to find creative paths in improving youth supports. She truly enjoys seeing the participants of the Train and Earn program learn, grow, and ultimately succeed. Welcome, Cynthia.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Cheryl and Cynthia, I'm looking forward to hearing more about the Certified Custodian Technician training that you offer. Share with us who is eligible for this program. And kick off the conversation for me.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and share my screen. We have some great information we want to share today. And then we'll talk about all the different aspects that we have to offer. So as far as eligibility, I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
Technology. It's
technology.
Always.
It's never trouble-free, but that's okay. We always get through it. So, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said you have to go with it. You just got to go with it.
Roll with it. Gotta roll with it. I hope everybody could see my screen right now. We are the Train and Earn program. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for having us. And thank you, everybody who's here listening. This is a phenomenal program, whether you're here to hear it, to present it to people you serve, or whether you are eligible yourself. We are excited to be here today to expose you to what's been going on for many years. So eligibility for the program, like you asked, Elizabeth, you must be between the ages of 16 to 24. This program is specifically directed to youth. They have to be out of school and out of work, which means they cannot be registered in school, go in the next semester, anything like that. They cannot be currently registered in school, out of work for at least a few months, and want to train to become employed. So our goal is to employ and connect and reconnect all of the youth that come through our program. We do ask for a commitment of 16 weeks. The program is a 16-week period from start of workshop to end of internship. And then there's a 1-year follow-up period where there are outcomes that we'll talk about a little bit later, right? Any participant must be a New York City resident, so they must live within the 5 boroughs, and they have to be authorized to work in the USA.
Terrific. So now we know who. Now let's talk about, share with me, why should young people consider a career as a custodian technician?
Yes, why is always the big question. And here are some answers. So, why number one is because it is a booming industry. It is a booming industry. Even pre-pandemic, this industry was growing rapidly. As you can see, there were 2.3 million people employed in the industry. The jobs were on track to grow at over 340,000 a year nationally. So this is pre-pandemic numbers. So now with COVID-19, everything needing to be disinfected and sanitized, those numbers have increased greatly. So why? Number one, there's a lot of work available for custodial technicians. Number two, a high school diploma is not required for this field. So you can grow and develop even if you didn't complete high school. As a program, we offer areas to help in that if that's a goal, but some of our participants just have not, for different reasons, been able to complete high school. And this is still an industry where they can grow and be promoted and just be of a social service to community and the civilians in our state.
That's terrific. And it really is an important consideration, because it's not just about what do you want to do? What do you want your job to be? But it's really important to think about, where are the jobs?
Yes.
Go and pick a field where you can not just be trained, but be trained and work. That is
Yes.
critical. And I think it's a step that a lot of times people don't think about. That's a very, very important thing.
Can I just add quickly, Elizabeth? I'm sorry for cutting you off. That in this COVID-19 world that we live in, we have to also think about where the jobs will stay. And in custodial maintenance, these are jobs that we have security with, right? There's a lot, like we saw the whole restaurant business, hotel business, all that stuff gone pretty much. Retail was gone for a long time, and with the people that we support that are in the custodial field didn't have to worry about that. Actually, there was more of a demand, because
Yes.
people want things to be sanitized, disinfected, cleaned all the time. So I think even now, like, these numbers are even before this new world we live in existed, and now even more so, because we don't have to worry about, like, as a custodial technician, will I still have a job? Because it's like, yeah, you will, and you actually will have more hours for the most part, because we're seeing that as other markets have stopped, this continues and is growing. So just wanted to add that.
Thank you for jumping in on that, because that is a really important point. It's not just the now, but it's the future. And I really think that our world has changed. So it's not like this pandemic is going to end and everything's going to change. We've changed as people, and we now know about germs and infection and all those kind of things that are going to still be an important thing even after the pandemic is over. So that's a really good point. Thank you for jumping in on that. So can you share with us, Cheryl, why people should consider a career as a custodian tech? Oh, I'm sorry, you just told us why. I want to know more about what they do. Can you share?
All right, let's talk about what they do. So I'm going to show you some basic things that they do with our next slide, but I want to talk a little bit about the overall, right? So like we said, custodial, let me get to that slide. This is some of the things that you do as a custodial technician. You disinfect, you sanitize, right? You shampoo rugs, you clean and disinfect floors, bathrooms, you remove trash, rubbish, glass, all of those kind of things. But really what you do as a custodial technician is you create a safe environment. You create a safe environment for children to learn. You create a safe environment for people to heal. Imagine if the hospital was not maintenance. Imagine if a school was not maintenance and kids had to learn in an environment that had trash overflowing and boogers on the table. Little kids always like to do that nasty stuff. And you can't grow, you can't learn in that environment, you can't heal. So what custodial technicians really do above these things that you see here is create an environment for people to grow, learn, succeed, heal. Imagine Jeff Bezos going into his office and the trash is overflowing, or the conference table is still dirty. Would he be as successful as he is? I say very strongly, probably not. Environment is everything. And as custodial technicians, frontline workers, we create safe environments for the people that we serve.
That's a great point. You know, it's really also about the pride in your work. You know,
Yes, absolutely.
about going and working, but realizing what an important difference you make and how strongly you are needed, what a strong part of the chain of success that it's needed in any company, business, big or small. Great point.
Absolutely. And you know what I always love to tell my students or my participants is that it's a glorious industry, but it's not glorified, right? So what I mean is that it is needed, it is necessary. We cannot function without custodial technicians. But a lot of times you don't hear about them, right? Sometimes we don't even know who cleans our office. We don't even know who cleans the school. So it's not glorified. Your name might never be in lights, but it is glorious. And it goes back to taking pride in what you do. And then you get to move from that industry. You get to grow and you make connections. You could own your own business. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but it is glorious, but not glorified. So these are some of the things we do.
Love that. Love that. You know, if they don't know who you are, you're doing a good job.
Right. Exactly. Jeff didn't empty the garbage again. It's like, we should not know Jeff's name. Yeah, you're right.
Can you dig a little deeper into what young people can expect with this program?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So let's talk about what they can expect and what we expect. How about that? So let's talk about what they can expect. So as a participant in the program, or if you're listening and you are looking to refer your participants, you can expect for your participants to be exposed to all different things concerning work readiness, such as resume preparation, labor market information. They will learn how to search for jobs, how to apply for jobs. We do some digital literacy. It's amazing. We have Facebook and Instagram, all of these things. And some of our young people do not know how to write an email, do not know how to add their signature. So we expose them to all of those things, as well as the custodial maintenance information that they will need to gain their certification, which is a process in and of itself. We also offer some OSHA 10 training to get certified with an OSHA 10. There are different levels to OSHA, and we start with OSHA 10. We do have some advanced training available for those who we feel are ready to go onto that level after they complete the basics. So that's what they can expect, as well as job placement. Participants can earn a little over $3,500 if they participate in this program fully over the 16 weeks. So a lot of good things coming their way. And what we expect for them is for them to show up. We expect them to show up and to do what they commit to do for the 16 weeks of the program.
Wait, so let me just rewind. So people sign up for this program and they get paid to do it.
Got it.
They get paid to learn a new career,
Yep.
get trained in how to get a job, how to interview, how to set up a resume, how to lead a professional existence.
Yep.
And they get also on top of that get paid.
Yep, absolutely. I know. Say it loud for the people in the back, right? Yes, they get paid to do that. They can come into our program knowing nothing about custodial maintenance. They can enroll in our program never having had any work experience, not having a high school diploma. We also work with individuals with disabilities are permitted into our program. So they could come knowing nothing, and we pay them to learn. We pay them to learn and expose them to the professional field. Yes, you got it.
It's terrific. Now you said something about OSHA.
Yes.
Can you explain what that is? Because I don't know, and maybe there are other people on here. Forgive me if it's something that's well known, but there may be other people like me who aren't exactly sure about that.
So I always butcher this, right? OSHA stands for something. It's called Occupational Safety Health Association. I believe the last word is association, right? But what they do, I know what they do. OSHA 10 is an agency that informs people that work in the field, such as custodial maintenance, construction, all of those areas where safety is a really big issue. And so they inform and they have a structure set up that employers have to keep a standard to. Okay. And as well, it tells participants or employees how to operate in those different fields. So it's all about safety, how to interact with chemicals, how to interact with equipment, what to do, what not to do. And they have a 10 and a 30. 30 is more so for construction workers, and 10 is a more basic outline.
So OSHA stands for the Occupational Safety and Health Administration.
Administration.
Wanted to clarify that.
He's the
And
director, that's why.
Go over, yes, and safety hazards. We're in the very beginning, actually, we go over general in the curriculum that Cheryl so graciously provides. And then again, at the end of the other certification that we received that Cheryl will speak about, we do offer the OSHA 10.
Great. Thank you so much for that clarification. So you had shared with me, Cheryl, a little bit about 4 outcomes that participants can expect. Can you share that with us?
Yes, so let's look at these 4 outcomes here. Outcome number 1, which it's number 1 because it's what most of our participants ask us for, is job placement. So this is after the 16 weeks of the program. 16 weeks of program include the 8 weeks of workshop and occupational training. And then there's about 8 weeks of internship. And then these are the outcomes after those components are successfully completed. So number 1 is job placement. We place you in the field, custodial maintenance field. AHRC actually has an entity called Hudson River Services, and it is a custodial maintenance company that services all 5 boroughs. So our success rate, our job placement rates are very, very high. We also place in retail and any industry that needs a maintenance worker. Outcome number 2, for those who want to do college and need some help transitioning into that, we assist with that as well. Or for those who would like to get their high school diploma if they did not come into the program with that. We will assist them in enrolling in any of those programs. Number 3 is apprenticeship. So we have another level of CMIs called advanced CMI. And for those who are ready to go to that level, maybe they want to own their own custodial business, we assist them a little further within the industry. And then number 4 for the U.S. Army. If you want to enroll, if that's a goal that you have coming into the program, we could connect you with a coordinator for that.
Terrific. So it's a lot of different options that are.
A lot of different options.
Terrific. What are some examples of where your graduates work? Can you share those?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of our graduates work all over the 5 boroughs. We have Amazon, of course, who does work with Amazon, right? We have placements at retail locations, at fitness gyms, all over the 5 boroughs. We have locations where ABM, which is another big cleaning company that also services all 5 boroughs. And like I mentioned, Hudson River Services, and even some medical and healthcare facilities.
So there's a lot of different places that you.
A lot of different places. And we want to cater to the participant, right? So some participants say, I would like to work in a retail store doing maintenance. And then maybe I want to become the manager of that retail store. So we like to give them many options, and we have a lot of partnerships to do that.
And also with Hudson River Services, the private enterprise that we do have, we get placed at different locations. Like, for example, we work with the Staten Island Ferry. We work at several FDNY locations. We work at several Department of Transportation, MTA locations. So although it's Hudson River Services and it's our private enterprise, we partner with a lot of big community locations and sites and agencies that we know in New York City. And again, like Cheryl said, this is throughout the whole 5 boroughs.
Terrific. Thank you for that clarification. What locations do you offer these programs, and how can someone apply to them?
All right, great question. So we offer this at 4 locations, 4 out of the 5 boroughs, but we accept participants from all 5 boroughs. Okay, so if you live in Manhattan, we're not excluding you. You would just go to whichever one is closer to you. And the way you can apply is you call this number. It's going to be an automated system. You put your information. We get your information directly and we give you a call, get you some more information, get you scheduled for your intake, and we start the enrollment process. We do 4 cycles a year. All of our programs do 4 cycles a year. So it's about every 3 months or every 2.5 months, we start a new cycle. So let's say you're thinking, I would love to do this, but I'm in the middle of something right now. I couldn't start today. That's okay. Still reach out, give us a call. We'll let you know the schedule. We could start your process and get you going for our next cycle.
I wanted to add about the location. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I saw you were just about to speak. So again, we do have programs in 4 out of the 5 boroughs. How it works by location. For example, someone may live in Queens, right? But they live closer to our Brooklyn location, which they may have to go to for some reason, right? Or they live closer to, sometimes the borderlines in NYC are a little weird. They might prefer to go to the Brooklyn location. We do it based on address. We do like Google, like searches and stuff like that to see which one is closer. If someone's in Manhattan, but they live like by the Staten Island ferry, they might prefer to work with the Staten Island location. If someone is in really upper Manhattan, like they might go to the Bronx, things. So we break it down that way. And like Cheryl said, the number that is on the screen is centralized and every one of the boroughs receives that information and that perspective. Like, for example, if there's someone who lives in Brooklyn, then the Brooklyn train and earn team will contact them. And the same goes for Staten Island, Queens, Bronx, like that. For Manhattan, we break it up by whoever's closer.
Got it. Okay, terrific. So you can help people with that, with what's the best location for them. What about online and what is happening now with the COVID restrictions? How are you handling that?
All right. So we are virtual, just like the Board of Education. We are doing things virtual. The difference, though, is there are some in-person services that are required where we practice strict COVID-19 rules. So for our everyday class, we are doing it via Zoom, very similar to what we're doing now. Not a webinar fashion, more interactive, but it's a Zoom situation. And then we have some other outlets that we use to enforce the material. In addition to that, we do some hands-on training at a really large facility in the city. All boroughs do occupational training at large facilities to incorporate social distancing and to get the participants hands-on training. And then when we get into the internship portion, it is in person. So, with the times and everything, knowing, understanding, being willing to be in person and virtual is an important factor and something to consider when applying to the program. We hybrid, we do a little bit of both.
Yes. And then when it comes to occupational training that is in person, as well as the internships, we do keep in mind safety first, always. The health and safety of everyone. So when we take every day as it comes, we take when COVID first started, for example, we did have people in internships. And as the situation escalated, decisions were made, to make sure that everyone was safe. So we are, although it's in person, we are making sure that everyone's safe. We are following proper social distancing guidelines. And we always make sure, like, for example, one of our internship sites is a hospital that we partner with in Staten Island. And there's in other boroughs, there's different sites that they work with that they accept multiple interns, I should say. And we always make sure that we contact that site. We speak to them daily, to make sure that we are keeping them safe. I just want to highlight that.
No, that's good. And it's also important that you're following that very strictly at the school. It's almost training, because anywhere there that you're going to work in custodial maintenance, you're going to be in person, and those protocols are going to have to be followed strictly. Obviously, every company probably has a little bit different protocols to a degree, but obviously going through school and having to focus on those protocols is really good training for what you're going to have to do in the field.
Absolutely.
You mentioned a little bit about, you were talking about the internship. Can you talk a little bit about how the stipend works and how the paid, is the internship paid, I guess, is the first question. And if so, how does the stipend and paid internship work?
Okay, great question. We get this question from participants sometimes once they start, they go, how do y'all pay me? So I love to talk about it beforehand.
That's an important question.
That's a very important question. How do y'all pay me? So again, like Elizabeth said, we pay you, right? We want you to learn. We want you to build your professional existence. We want you to succeed. And so to do that, and we have these requirements and commitments from you, we give a stipend during the 8 weeks of workshop and occupational training. We give that stipend so our participants can be focused and able to meet the commitments that we ask them to meet. So they get $100 a week for every week that they participate in our 8-week workshop. That's about $800, right? And then when you transition into paid internship, each participant that transitions into that portion of the program will receive $15 for 175 hours. And that totals, and let me give you the number because I have it right here. That totals $2,625 before taxes, okay? So you're gonna get $100 a week while we're in class, and then you're gonna get $15 an hour for $175 for 175 hours during internship.
That's terrific. That's terrific. So I do have a lot of questions from our attendees. Can I ask you some of those questions now?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Of course.
Terrific. So we had a question. Someone wanted you to elaborate on the internship sites and talk a little bit about more that what you would have available.
Okay, great. So internship sites are going to be specific to which borough you participate in with your program. Okay. So if you do Staten Island program, your internship site is going to be on Staten Island, Brooklyn on Brooklyn, so on and so forth. So that's very important to know for traveling purposes. Internship sites vary. To name a few, we have partnerships with retailers like Marshalls, TJ Maxx, all of those types. Healthcare facilities, hospitals like Cynthia mentioned, some gyms such as Planet Fitness, Crunch, Blink. Anywhere you go for your internship, though, you will be doing custodial maintenance. That is the goal. So you will not, if you're placed at a gym for your paid internship, a fitness gym, you will not be at the front desk. You will be doing maintenance at the gym. And it gives you just an environment and a network of people, right, to transition into. Some of our participants, not all, we don't promise this, but some of them actually get hired at their internship sites. Some people say, man, we love them so much, we want to keep them. And so that happens, but even if not, we work on placing our participants. So those are some of the locations that we place them at.
Terrific. Now you mentioned 175 hours of internship. What happens after that's completed?
So after that's completed, we do have a graduation ceremony for participants. Every borough does it a little different, but right after we update resumes and then we start with the outcome. So if you wanted to enroll in college or you wanted to be placed at work, whatever outcome you set up with the case manager prior to enrollment, those are the goals we start working on immediately after completion of internship.
Terrific. And we just got a question in terms of, internships. Is that just to confirm that you had said that you also work with Amazon?
We do. Well, that more of a job placement with that. But as far as internships, more retail stores and locations like that.
Terrific. Adriana had a question. What days do we have classes?
Great question.
Schedule, or is it?
So it's going to be Monday through Friday. Each borough does different time slots. And, as you reach out, they will call you and give you their different time slots of when they do it. But it's Monday through Friday, and it's a couple of hours online. And then there's a couple of hours of additional work that each participant will have to submit throughout the day. So it is Monday through Friday situation with the 8 weeks.
Great. And it's a follow-up question. Doreen wanted to know, with the internships, is it always 9 to 5, or is it possible to work evening or overnight hours?
It just varies, and maybe Cynthia could speak better to that. It varies. We've had participants do weekends and all sorts of things, just like work. You know, sometimes we love maybe Monday through Friday, but sometimes it calls for a Saturday or Sunday. So the schedule depends, and that's something that each participant could work out with their staff that they have. Maybe Cynthia could expand on that a little bit more.
Yes. So when it comes to, I'm going to first mention something about occupational training, and then I'm going to answer the question about internship. So, occupational training and the rest of the classroom portion where you're learning the curriculum, where you're learning how to become a custodial maintenance worker, is a Monday through Friday. However, when you do occupational training, that will be more evening. Like, for example, I am the program director for Staten Island. Other boroughs may do it different. And I know in Staten Island, what we do is that our class time that you have your session with Zoom with Cheryl will be maybe 11 to 1 or something like that daily with Google Classroom assignments. But then when we do occupational training, you would have to meet staff in person at our office at about 2:30, and then we go to the city to do our occupational training, and that is in the evening. They end about 8 o'clock. So that is the timing for that, although it is Monday through Friday. When we go to internship now, the internship depends on the site you're at, and you work that out with the site. If, say, for example, you're interning at Staples doing maintenance, then we work that out with the manager from Staples. And he's like, I really need someone Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and no other day. Then that's the schedule that person has. And that may work for that person, right? If you're placed at a hospital, it usually is Monday through Friday, and you're usually ending around 3 because we keep it with you get a mentor at the hospital, right? There's different locations. When we used to work with ABM, All Building Management, and they were 10 to 3 Monday through Friday. But it also depends on the site. So there's different, I mentioned 4, I think now. So depending on the site, I think I see more of the weekend stuff or holiday when it's retail sites like Staples, Home Depot, wherever we place people. Where you'll see more variance of hours, right? But I always say in our field, it's never 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Long story short.
Rarely overnights for internship, but if somebody wanted overnights in placement, that's something you could discuss with the case manager at that point. Because we like to support our participants during their internship portion, but when you get into placement, that's definitely an option, especially in this field. So it caters to a lot of personalities, right? If you love to work with people, you definitely could get a maintenance job where you work in the day. But if you don't like to work with people, you could definitely get a maintenance job where you clean when everybody else is home. So it caters to a lot of different personalities.
That's a great point. And also it's important to remember that a lot of these questions, a lot of the answers to these questions are very individual, just as all of your students are individual.
Absolutely.
And that, once you're interested and you call, you can kind of delve more into that about specifically what your interests are. Like you said, Cheryl, are you more of an extrovert, introvert? What kind of work environment do you want? And you can work with the team over there to figure that out.
Absolutely.
Someone wanted to know if, as a next step, they should call the number. I did share this in the chat, the email address here and the phone number here. I included it in the chat. I'm going to include it again in the chat right now. And then also everyone's going to get an email from us tomorrow that will also include this information. But Cheryl, what would be the best way to communicate after this webinar to move forward?
Call the number. Call the number. We will call you back. You're going to get a call. If you call after 5, you're going to get a call the following morning. If you call between 9 to 5, you will get a phone call back that day from any of these boroughs. We are always actively recruiting. So call, please.
Terrific. Thank you for that. Very good clarity. Nolan wanted to know, I meet most eligibility requirements, but I'm 28 years old. This program feels geared towards me. Will the age requirement stop me?
So age requirement is strict within those limits, 16 to 24. It's a setup of the program, is just the dynamics of the whole situation. So yes, 16 to 24 is a hard restriction that we have.
And following up with that, someone else had a question is, are there similar resources for adults who are over 24 that you know of? Or, is that something they can ask you about, or is there nothing that you know of?
We at AHRC on Staten Island, we do have a program for people with disabilities that does not have an age limit, that does prepare them for the work field and the technology standpoint. So if someone has a qualifying disability, we can go forward with that, and we don't have those age restrictions. Outside of that, at this moment, I don't have any specific program in mind with that age group. Cynthia may.
For anyone who's out of the age group, again, and has a disability, AHRC NYC, outside of partnering with DYCD, because DYCD and the logos there and like in the title page is they're the entity that funds this program. But AHRC NYC, we normally is a focus on people with disabilities. So if you do have a qualifying disability, you can go into our supported employment program, and you could reach out to your local office regarding that. And also, if you still call the number, we can give you that information, right? But for this particular program, it is 16 to 24.
Thank you for that clarification. Ray also wants to know about this specific requirement. Is there any way I can still participate while in school?
So Train and Earn is specifically directed to youth out of school and out of work, because we want to connect or reconnect that age group to society. We don't want them to kind of get lost in the shuffle and then negative things happen. So Ray is actually considered connected for the fact that he's in school. And because of that, it's outside of the requirements. So sorry, Ray, but congratulations, because you are connected and you are on the right path. So I hope that answered that question.
Yes, it did. Thank you. Rebecca wanted to know, are candidates with a criminal background able to find employment in the custodial services field? And are there exceptions that you know of in schools and hospitals?
So we, like you said, Elizabeth, we do case by case. I encourage her to call the number. We set up a conversation and we go from there. So that is not a hard stop for us. We would have to ask deeper questions and go through, her history a little bit to see what we could do. So yes, please call the number and we could follow through. We could follow up with you.
Perfect.
If we know someone is justice system involved and they do enter the program, and that's a call that we don't make, that goes up to like the head of our department. But when it comes to job placement and internship placement, we will keep that in mind. We have a marketing team to solely to look for internships and jobs, and they will say this job requires a background check, this one doesn't, right? And we definitely, if we know that information, we advocate for our people to get the jobs that obviously don't require those things. We always say, if you disclose it, it's better if we find out after the fact, right? But it is, like Cheryl said, case by case. And the more we know, the more we can advocate for you.
Right. So transparency is always key. I have, prior to my employment with AHRC, I have been a director of other programs. I have hired and fired people, trained, established all across the board. And what was most important to me during those times was transparency. And I'm going to put that out there for other employers as well. So being transparent, being open, having open conversations, expressing how you've changed if you have a criminal background, having reference letters from people who have established positions, volunteering, okay? If you have a criminal background, you feel like it's gonna hold you back. These are all things that can help you rise above and beyond that, that background check.
That's terrific advice, really terrific. And that goes a long way, I think, in your life as well. So that's great advice. Christopher wanted you to be more specific when you said a couple hours a day. How many is a couple? Is it 2?
So for Staten Island, okay, let me explain it this way. If we were in person, we would do 5 hours a day. We would go whatever time, 12 to 5, 9 to 3, 5 or 9 to 2, whatever, 5 hours a day. We are not doing 5 hours of Zoom a day, I promise, okay? Each program does it a little differently. So for Staten Island, we do 2 hours online, and then there's 2 hours worth of additional work that needs to be submitted to replicate our classroom time that we would have if we were in person. Other boroughs do it a little different. They might do 2.5 hours of Zoom and 1.5 hours of additional work. So you need to have 4 to 4.5 hours of time blocked out each day to do your requirements for train and earn. That's the best way I could put it, without being as specific as possible for each borough. No borough is going to make you do 5 hours of Zoom, but you will have your Zoom plus some additional work to do each day in order to keep up. So block out a few hours a day.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Angelica wants to know, do you provide laptops or iPads to participants who don't have access to electronics? I guess this is an issue now with the world of Zoom.
Absolutely. So iPads, no. But tablets, yes. Okay. We do provide technology for those who need it. Each borough will provide technology for those who need it. And we encourage participants who maybe need internet access, all of those things, to let us know about that as well. Another reason we give the stipend is in order to be able to keep those services afloat during the 8-week period. So we could assist with hotspots for some boroughs, tablets for all the boroughs, and then the stipend also will help with some other, what you call those utilities that may be needed.
Terrific, thank you. Eric wanted to know, is it the same in Manhattan? Can I find work in Washington Heights? And must I attend every week?
So it's definitely a 16-week commitment. Okay, so we ask you to Monday through Friday for the 8 weeks, and then as we said, we're going to internship, and the days might change. So it's a commitment. That is what we require from you. So yes, we do expect that from you. Can I be as specific as Washington Heights? I'm not. I can't promise Washington Heights, but if your residence is closer to, let's say, Brooklyn, then the Brooklyn coordinator will work with you and your address to make sure you're not traveling 2-3 hours to work or internship every day. But I cannot be as specific and say, yes, Washington Heights.
Terrific. And look, I mean, making that 16-week commitment also shows employers that you're committed and that you're reliable. And so it's almost, adding something to your resume, the fact that you made that commitment for 16 weeks.
Elizabeth, that you are nail on the head. So train and earn goes on your resume. Absolutely. We make an intention to put it on the resume. We intentionally put your internship on the resume. And, we write reference letters. If you need a reference letter, we're going to write that for you. But like I tell all my participants, you write your reference letter and I sign it. So if you showed up every day, you're writing a great letter for yourself, and I'm going to sign that. If you came once a week, that's the letter you're writing for yourself, and that's the letter I'm going to sign. So it's huge for your resume. It shows commitment, endurance, all the things you just said.
Terrific. Terrific. And look, that's one of the hardest things about getting a job. People always want to know, well, what did you do? Well, what if you're starting out? You didn't do much. So this is a great way to be able to have that experience and show that you can do it and you've done it. Josiah wants to know, can I just attend the program and not participate in the job placement part?
So job placement is only one of the outcomes. So if Josiah would like to go to school after program is complete, or he has another goal, that might be something we could assist him with. We would love for him to call a number just to get a little bit more understanding of what he would like to do after the 16 weeks of the program, just to assure that we could help him with the outcomes he's looking for.
Terrific. Thank you for reminding us about those different outcomes that there are available. Sharif wants to know, do you have to pay for your certificate once you complete the training?
No. So this program is free. it's free to our participants, but it's not free. So each certificate does have a monetary value. Everything we present has a monetary value, in addition to the fact that we give financial support throughout the program. So you need to complete your program, and your certificate will be presented to you during our graduation portion, not portion, during our graduation that we have twice a year.
Terrific. Is a GED required for those without a high school diploma?
No, and that's what I really love, is that this program is geared towards, you can have a high school diploma and enroll, but you do not have to have a high school diploma to enroll. You do not, and you can get into the field without having that.
And I also just want to add with that, if you don't have a high school diploma or GED, we can help you connect with other programs or resources that can help you do that. We have partner programs that assist with GED, that if like you want to do the custodial maintenance, and then we can help you with refer you to them after, you can do that as well. We have a lot of resources and connections. We want to make sure that anyone who goes through this program completes their goals, whether that be, I just want to get my GED and then work as a technician, that's fine. Or I want I don't want my GED, I'm not worried about that right now, I want to do this. We want to just help you with whatever you want to do. So it's not a requirement, but we definitely, if that's something you are interested in doing, we will try our best to connect you with that resource.
Definitely an outcome that we could support. Yep.
Terrific. And Faith had a question about starting at 15. Can you repeat the age requirement? Because I know that it is a steadfast requirement. Can you?
Yeah. So, Faith, I just applaud you for wanting to do something like this at 15. But it is for 16 to 24 and who are out of school and out of work. So if you're 16 but you're still in high school, we want you to go for it. But when you graduate high school, you want to take a gap year, if you guys have heard of that. Some people want to take off from school in between college. As long as you're not enrolled in college and this is something you want to do after you graduate high school, we will still be around. So 15 is a little too young. So 16 and out of school and out of work. So if you're still in school, when you graduate, if not, then 16.
Terrific. Thank you. I mean,
I want to add one more thing about the age. I'm sorry. Just this is a very important factor. If you are under 18, like 16 and 17, that's fine as well. You would need a specific type of working paper. So if you do fall under that category, we will speak with you one-on-one regarding what you would need, an additional document, working paper document, so that you can do the program till its full extent and be placed after that. But that's case by case, so I don't have to go into that exact right now, but just know that there will be an additional document requirement.
Okay. Someone also asked if they start the program and they're 24, but they turn 25 during the program.
That's fine.
Okay.
That is
That's
fine.
right.
You have to be 24 on the start date. Yeah.
Terrific.
So if they're turning 25 in February, they need to call us today.
Yeah, they're turning 25 in April, so get on that phone.
Today, our next cycle actually starts February 1st, which is next Monday. So we are actively recruiting today.
Well, Cheryl, that was a perfect ending, because that was my last question, was when does the next program start?
Hey, we are doing good.
February. Well, this has been really fantastic. I want to thank you, Cheryl and Cynthia, for providing all of this information to our attendees. It's really a valuable program, and I encourage all of our attendees, if you even think you have an inkling of interest, call the number.
Yes.
We will have it, as I mentioned to you, I did put the email and the phone number in the chat, so it's there. You'll also get an email tomorrow with it. They also, Cheryl and Cynthia will probably send out an email to you as well with some further information, so keep an eye on your email for it. This was recorded, and we will have the recording available on the Schneps Media YouTube channel. That'll be available within 48 hours. So you'll be able to see it again. You'll be able to share it with friends. I see that we have a high school. Someone that works at a high school here, so you can share it with your students. Please feel free to share the video. And again, thank you so very much, Cheryl and Cynthia. Thank you to our attendees. And I really want to wish you all to stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll look forward to seeing you on our next webinar. We do have another webinar coming up on Thursday that talks about a program for your GED. So I will also in the email share with you the link to sign up for that. If you are interested, it's another sister program that can be, if you're interested in, I will send that link as well, and you can join us on Thursday. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you guys for having us. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye all.
Bye-bye.